Do you ever find yourself writing these same prompts over and over again just to get the same results? And ultimately, the results end up being mediocre or not quite what you had intended for. If you experience this, you are going through what is called prompt fatigue, or at least as I like to call it. This cycle of trial and error can really become a hassle and make things very inefficient. So, what is the solution here? Well, building and saving structured prompts is truly the key. Instead of just typing whatever comes to mind, you create personalized templates that fit your workflow. When you pre-build and reuse effective prompts, you eliminate the guesswork and you get more consistent results, which in return makes AI a more seamless part of your process. Hey, my name is Ben Cole. This is another episode of Tech Tuesday, and today I'm really excited for this episode because it's not just exploring a new tool or a new product, but it's really rethinking the way that we interface with language models and how we can build a better system for how we engage in productive work. To begin with, we're going to look at a tool that I've been using recently called Beef Text. Now, Beef Text allows you to save text snippets in order to very quickly generate text via a keyword shortcut. I've made a couple here just for examples, but we can take a look at the ones that I've built out. So this snippet is a prompt that breaks down how I structure my emails. And I know this looks like very complicated, but I built out this prompt in ChatGPT. Probably took me 15 minutes. I went and copied, pasted a lot of my emails and had it generate basically being able to replicate my writing style. So that could be a whole nother episode in and of itself, really, but I can promise you it's really not too complicated. I mean, you can save any type of prompt in here, but just for this episode, we're going to be doing this example here for my emails. So now that we've taken a look at that, we'll go ahead and use it within the platform. So we're here in ChatGPT. Let's say I want to do an email. So I'll do double semicolon and we can see the prompt comes up. Now I can input instructions for writing the email, or I can actually copy and paste a draft of an email that I'm currently writing. I'm going to ask my friend Jaden if she would like to watch and reminding her of our meeting today at 6. So we can see it drafted up an email. Hey Jaden, hope you're doing well. Just want to see if you'd be interested in watching. The way this is structured is very similar to how I'd write my emails. Starting off with, straight to the point, very clear and concise, adding an additional note, finishing up with something very forward-looking and optimistic. That's typically how I write my emails, and we can see that's exactly how it's structured. So let's do another quick use case. So I built out another prompt for blog writing where I used a Medium blog as an example that was actually about how to write blogs. So I used that in creating a prompt that essentially used their philosophy as inspiration on how to write a blog. And if I do the double semicolon blog, we can see the instructions come up here. I can either input information directly within the prompt, or I can add an attachment. I'm going to go ahead and add an attachment. So I just did something random like my resume. This should be interesting. Let's see what it gives me. Okay. Wow, look at that. Here it is. It's basically going through my experiences, kind of telling my story in a blog format based off of the instructions that I'd given it. Very interesting. I mean, I'm not sure this would be the best use case, but just very random. I was curious to see what it would generate. But the reason I find this episode very interesting is because not only is it very practical and increases efficiency, very relevant. I feel like everyone these days is interacting with language models, especially and getting them to increase their effectiveness of their writing. But I think it's great because it allows us to think a little bit more about what we actually want. Like what is the desired outcome and how can we aim to get that faster and more accurately. And a lot of that is through prompt engineering, really thinking about what are the most common use cases, what does my workflow look like, where does AI fit into that, and how do I craft the correct prompt. That's all for me today. Thank you guys so much for listening and have a great rest of your Tuesday.